Hi. It's past midnight and I'm still awake because I'm thinking about everything that I said I was going to achieve that I haven't achieved yet. I'm just thinking about all my goals, my plans. I'm just thinking about the ones that I feel like I'm already getting short, like in time, right? I'm kind of running out of time, but I know I'm not running out of time because I'm working according to God's time. But I'm just thinking about everything, basically. And it's good to have reflections, right? It's good to reflect on your goals because then you can tell, Shay, what are you doing on my life by this time? Why are you still awake? Why are you not sleeping? Please, this life is not for family and friends, so you can excuse me on this life. Shay Olabisi, what are you doing on my life by this time? Anyways, guys, as I was saying, it's good to reflect on on your goals, the ones that you have achieved, the ones that you haven't done, and see where you need to make corrections, see where you need to adjust. And definitely the goal will still be the same, but sometimes you need to adjust the way that you get there. And it's also Shay, please. And sometimes you can even end up changing the goal at the end of the day. But every once in a while, I like to reflect on the things that I've achieved so far, the things I haven't yet achieved, where I made mistakes, where I can do better. And sometimes I just end up changing the goal um, overall, because the thing is that we change with seasons. What I may have wanted at the beginning of the year may not be what I want now. I've noticed that the main thing is that I'm making progress in life and I'm growing. But sometimes what I wanted last year, what I thought I wanted, is no longer what I want at this very moment. Another thing I've learned is to stop overthinking, stop overanalyzing things. Sometimes if you're too busy overthinking, you're too busy overanalyzing, you can get stuck in the moment, right? Because you don't want to make progress because you're thinking, will it work out fine? Am I doing the right thing? Then you keep thinking about it rather than just doing the action, rather than just acting, right? It happens. So lately I've learned to stop overthinking things. I've learned to stop overanalyzing things, because no matter how much you overanalyze something, if it wants to happen in a bad way or whatever, it's still going to happen. So there's no point keeping yourself in that point where you are too scared to move forward because you are not sure of the outcome. You will never be 100% sure of the outcome. Okay, and like I said something on one of my earlier videos, I said that doing things is not always about, am I going to succeed, am I going to fail. Sometimes we do things because it's necessary for our growth. We do things because it's necessary for us to become the person that we are meant to become, not necessarily because we are meant to succeed at that thing, right? Even when you fail, you learn a lot of lessons. Even when you fail at something, that thing can still impact your life positively, right? And it's not everything that we start that we are meant to do for 10 years. Some things are just meant to serve us in the moment. Like, okay, maybe this thing is meant to serve us for 1 year and that's the end of it. But sometimes we are too attached to things. Especially if it's something that we worked so hard to get, or it's something that we worked so hard for. We are too attached. So we're not willing to let go. We cannot even see that, okay, this thing has served this purpose and it's time to move on. Hi to everyone joining the live. Thank you for being here. So yeah, basically, this is my night life because I can't sleep. So I'm just sharing my thoughts and yeah, basically sharing some of the things that I've been thinking, the things that I'm actually thinking of that I could not go to bed. Basically, the goals that I set, achieving my goals, re-strategizing basically, and the things that I've learned recently that has helped me in achieving my goals. And another thing I've done to stay motivated. Hi, Adrian. Nice to see you here again. It's been so long. I think more than a month. It's been a really long time. Nice to see you here, Adrian. I hope you've been well. I hope you are doing well. Oh, it's so lovely that I have all my friends on the live this night. It's exciting because usually I don't get all my friends together at the same time that I go live. But it's nice to see you, Adrian. I've been well. I've been doing good. I hope that you've also been doing good. I hope that you've also been doing well. Shay, if you're still on this live, you're coming on my live. You did not bring anything for me. Anyways, yeah. So I'm just talking about yeah, I was going to mention something. One of the things that has helped me or has been helping me to stay motivated is listening to, okay, I could say listening to podcasts, but not just podcasts. Listening to podcasts of people that are good at motivating others. There are some people that are really good at motivation, right? I'm not talking about people that tell their life stories. I'm talking about people that they have been through a tough time and they know what to say to you to get you going. If you feel like resting too much, or you feel like not going after your goals, or you feel like giving up, I just listen to this certain podcast. Okay, so I listen to there's this channel on YouTube, this podcast. Hi David. So there's this channel on YouTube. It's called Motivacity, right? I discovered them about 2 years ago, or let me say more than 2 years ago. But I've been listening to them for a long time, and through them, I found out about other people that are good with motivational talks, such as Coach Payne. Yeah, and most of these talks they refer to people that go to the gym. I don't go to the gym, but in a way, it also relates to me, right? Because I'm also trying to achieve something. And whenever I feel down, whenever I feel like okay, I can't, do this anymore, and I listen to these tapes, they ginger me up. So I'm just saying that we all need things, people in our life that can motivate us because as a human being, you will definitely get discouraged because it's not easy. That's the honest truth. Like now I understand why when people achieve certain things, some of them cry. Like before I used to think it was funny, like why are you crying? But now that I see how tough it can be to achieve certain things, I understand why people get overly emotional when they finally achieve that thing because sometimes it's not an easy journey. No matter how much people try to downplay it, like okay, it's not a big deal. You can just wake up and achieve anything. David said, oh, thank you, David, for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Like I said, that it's your first time here because I haven't seen your name before on any of my live. But thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Anyways, I really appreciate. So yeah, as I was saying, it's not an easy thing achieving certain goals that you set for yourself, especially when you are starting from scratch. I feel like starting from scratch is different from starting when you have like a solid foundation. Bye, David. Take care of yourself. Some people start with a solid foundation, and other people start from scratch. It's not the same thing because if you're starting from scratch, you don't have support, you don't have finances, you don't even have like a mentor, anybody to tell you, okay, this is what you need to do at a particular time. You are basically figuring out everything as you go. And like no matter how much someone explains something, you might never really understand the gravity of it, how serious it can be, how tasking it can be, unless you live it. Like unless you live it, you experience it, right? So no matter how much someone explains how hard the journey has been for them, you may never really relate to it unless you experience it. But I do know that the journey can be hard for a lot of people, even people that started with support, people that started with finances, because there's certain things that you cannot skip. Okay, someone can only advise you on a certain thing, but they cannot live your life for you. So at the end of the day, you would still have to be the person that would, have the experience, that would do the hard work, that will show up every day. And that's the thing about when you are chasing a particular goal. You might have to show up often more than you actually want to show up. You might have to like show up so much, right? Give it a lot of your time. I remember when I was working on a project ending of last year, stroke beginning of this year. I barely even had time for myself. Like it was a lot of early mornings and late nights. Okay, I would wake up at I wake up so early, work on my goal throughout the day, come back home late, I would think about working the next day. I would think about everything that I did that particular day, and I would think about everything that I had to do the next day. I would go to bed late and still wake up so very early. It was very tasking time in my life, and other people around me did not really understand why I was doing what I was doing. Right? They did not understand why I was working so hard. They did not understand why um I was pushing myself to the limits. And the thing about working so hard as much as that, being so fixated on your goal, is that other parts of your life may suffer, right? You may neglect other parts of your life, such as certain friendships. You may also neglect friendships, you may even neglect yourself, right? You may not take care of yourself as much as you used to. You may not be so particular about your dressing anymore. You may not be so particular about how you look, because you're so focused on working towards your goal. But I just want to say that it's a phase, right? It's just for a short while. Everybody needs to make sacrifices for a certain period of time so that they can enjoy the benefits later on. If you're not willing to make that sacrifice for that particular moment, it may be a little harder for you to relax in the way that you want to, right? For me, I think it's better to work for like 2 months straight and then take a break. It's like people going on vacation. Okay, you work hard for like 2 months, then take a month off to vacation. And the thing is that when people see you vacationing in that your 1 month break, they will feel like, oh, you're always enjoying. They will not know that you worked so hard, so you deserve to rest. Do you understand? So the thing about life is that life comes in seasons. Everything comes in seasons. Everything comes in time, and it's very important that we understand time and season. You cannot envy any other person. Like I just said, you may be in your working season, and another person will be in their resting season. So you cannot envy them. You cannot wish to be like them. You cannot be jealous of them because they are working with a different timeline than the one that you are working um with. So yeah, basically, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts and some of the things that I've been thinking about. I do think about a lot of things. Like in a day, I can think about like 20 things that I want to talk about. I don't know if it's just me or it happens to anybody else, but in a day, I can literally think about 20 things that I want to talk about. So I just talk about the ones that I remember to talk about per time, but my mind is always working. I think it happens to other people too, because I've heard other people say it. But for me, my mind is always working like 247. My mind is always working. I'm always ready to, like, there are certain topics that if you wake me up from sleep, I'm ready to talk about them. There are certain topics that you can meet me on the road and I'm ready to talk about them. Okay, like there has so much to say up here, right? I have so much knowledge about this particular thing. And so that's thing about life. You can only give out what you have taken in. The reason I know a lot about certain things is because of knowledge I've acquired, right? How much I've read, how much I've listened to, and how much I've experienced. You cannot talk about something you don't know. And there was time on my life I was talking about self-confidence, I was talking about self-esteem, and I said one of the ways to boost your self-confidence, one of the ways to boost your self-esteem is by having more knowledge. The more you read about things, the more understanding you have, the more you know, the more you experience, the more you are bold to talk about certain things because you are sure of what you're talking about. But when you lack knowledge, you will be a little timid, you will not have as much confidence. It's the same reason in a classroom, right? Some people are shy to raise their hands to answer questions because they have not read, they have not done the work, so they feel like they might not get the answer correctly, right? But if you read as much as you should, you know as much as you should know, you will be brave to speak up in certain rooms, you will be confident to talk, you will not feel shy, or like you will not you will not feel shy to talk, you will not be afraid to talk because you are sure of what you're saying. And even though you're not saying the correct thing at that moment, you have something else to say, and you know that the reason you don't know about this particular thing is not because you are a dullard or anything. It's just circumstantial that you don't know about this particular thing. Yeah. So one of the ways to really build our confidence, like as people, as human beings, is to invest in our knowledge. And when you're investing in knowledge, don't just invest on a particular thing. I think it pays to be broad, right? Like you can have broad knowledge about a lot of things. Doesn't, like, even if you have a niche, even if you have a focus, even if you have a particular career, Like me, for example, I'm a business lady, so I know a lot about sales, about marketing. Okay, let me not say a lot, but I have basic knowledge and more about sales, about marketing, about running a business, about entrepreneurship and all of that. But I still do my research to other fields that don't partake to, you know, what I currently do to earn a living. I still make sure that I'm up to date in other things, because no knowledge is wasted, and it's so important that I'm not saying you need to know everything in the world, but I'm just saying that at least be able to hold an intellectual conversation. Some of us don't know anything outside of entertainment, right? Because all we listen to is entertainment news. But it's very important that you are able to hold intellectual conversations. Yeah, so that's just some little points that I thought to share tonight, since I'm awake and I'm not busy at the moment. I can see there are two people on the live. If you're still here, just say hi. If you're still on the live, just say hi, so I can know that you're still here. Probably they've gone to bed. The people stay on the live and go to bed. I guess I'm about to find out. The people, because I know that there are some times that as a microphone gone off, don't tell me that you guys not hear me the whole time. Wait, I think my microphone was off, so you guys will not hear me the whole time I was talking. No, tell me it's a lie. This is so funny. Hi. I can see people on this live. So why are you guys quiet? Because I just noticed that my microphone was turned off. So it means all this while I've been talking, you guys can't hear me. I've been talking to myself. So this is why I don't like using microphone all the time. Because I will never know when it either goes off or it's now faulty and the audio isn't clear. And sometimes the people on the live will not even, like, the people listening to you will not ever say anything. You have to figure it out by yourself, like I just did. But anyways, I feel like sometimes when I come on live, as much as I do it for the people listening to me, I also do it for myself, right? Sometimes if I come on live and there's nobody on the live, it's still fine, because sometimes the live is for myself. Like, actually it's for myself, because sometimes I need to talk about certain things that if I just sit down and talk, I like sometimes I sit down and talk to the empty room, but at the same time I still want to feel like I'm talking to someone else, so I don't feel like I'm crazy, right? So sometimes the live video is just an avenue for me to express myself about certain things that I've been thinking about, and I mostly base it on life in general or business. I don't like to share like deep personal things. But thank you guys so much for being an amazing audience. Right, I really needed to like talk about some certain things that I've been thinking about, right? Because the thing about I've not read any books lately, because there was a time that I read books back to back to back to back to back to back, and I felt like I had something I would call information overload. I've read too many things. I now knew too many things. Like, I was taking too many things in, but I was not implementing them as much. Yeah, that's what. So I was reading many things. I was understanding many things. I was taking many things in, but I was not implementing them as much. So I felt like these things were stuck in my head. So for the past, will I say up to 1 year, I've not. I don't think I've started and completed any book in the last 1 year. I even reduced the way I listen to like podcasts and videos, because there was a time that every blessed day I was either reading a book or listening to a video. I was always consuming like information, knowledge. I was always learning new things, and I felt like I had so many things in my head that I had not implemented yet, which is why I stopped reading. So I'm trying to gauge the time that I feel like, okay, I'm starting to get empty. Yeah, I think this mic has gone off again, so I'm just going to take it off. Yeah, so this is my normal audio now, because I don't know what's up with this mic. I don't know if the microphone is dead, because I charge it. So probably the microphone is dead. I don't even know. Like, for people that are going to watch this live in playback, I really hope they understand what they're watching, because um I just noticed that the microphone has been acting up, so I hope they understand what they are watching when they watch it in playback. So, but anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, I was talking about not reading any books in the last 1 year, because I felt like I read a lot of books in previous years, and I was yet to implement everything that I had read, right? And that's another thing. Some of us don't realize when we have overdone something. Like, things are good though, like things are very, very good. It's nice to like do things, but sometimes we don't realize when we start to do it in excess. We don't realize when it starts to get too much. We don't realize when we start to overdo things, and sometimes that can be an issue. There's this quote that's, I don't know whether it's in the Bible, I can't say, but there's this quote, this saying, this popular saying that too much of everything is bad. And it's true, like too much of everything can actually be bad. There's this thing they also say that some professors are no longer normal because they have read too much. And I think I experienced what it means to read too much. In fact, there was a time that, like, before I stopped like reading books, and like, because the books I was reading were not just like ordinary books, they were self-help books, autobiographies, motivational books, books that if you read one book, you can spend the next 4 months implementing what you have read in that book. And I was reading this type of books like back to back, so I was taking a lot of information. Do you get, like, if I read a book and, like, there's a way you read something that this thing is new to you, that you need to crack your head and think and reason for you to really understand what it is you're reading, right? So, and I was doing that a lot, and I felt like, ha, it's a lot of things that I taken in, right? And I'm so glad that I was able to put a stop to, because it got to a point that I was not even understanding what I was reading anymore, because I was reading too much and not implementing as much. So I still feel like I'm in my working season. You work, then you rest, you work, then you rest. I still feel like I'm in my working season. I don't feel like I'm in my resting season yet. I mean, I feel like if you're in your resting season, you would also know. And if you're in your working season, you also know that, okay, this is time to work. And one thing about me is that when work shows up, I do the work, because I know that work doesn't show up every day. I'm also not motivated every day. That's the truth. Some days I'm really motivated. So whenever I'm motivated to do something, I get up and do it. There's this verse in the Bible that says, "Whatever your hand findeth to do it well." Right? So whatever, any day that I feel motivated to do a particular thing, I show up and I do that thing, because I know that there's probability that tomorrow, I will not be motivated to do this thing, or tomorrow the opportunity will just not be there. And there's this thing about opportunities. Sometimes we don't recognize opportunities when they come. We don't even recognize that, okay, this is an opportunity, and it may come again, but it will not come in the way that it has come the first time. So it's really important that we keep our eyes open and we are able to like take advantage of opportunities. We're able to take advantage of moments that come our way. So one thing about me that I've been doing of recent times is that whenever an opportunity comes for me to do a particular thing, I do it at that moment, because I know that it's not every day that I will be chance to do this thing. I don't feel motivated every day. I don't work hard every day. That's the honest truth. But people would not know that I don't work every day, because if I work in a day, I probably do like 3 days work in one day if I have the opportunity to. That's just one thing I've been doing lately. But I say lately, let me say in the past 2 years, and it's been working. Okay, like if you have the opportunity to do so many things in one day, take it, because the next day, either you may be too lazy to get up from bed, or either everything will just not be convenient, or you may have emergency, so you'll not be able to work as much. So any day that you feel like, okay, everything is working in your favor today, and you can accomplish a lot of things, go ahead and do 1 week's work in one day, so you can have time for the rest of the week. That's just how I see it, and that's where I've been practicing it. Any day that I know that, okay, I'm opportunity to do this thing, I go ahead and do it, because I know that moments don't come like every day. Yeah, I don't know how best to explain it, but if it's something that you've experienced, then you will definitely understand what I'm saying. So anyways, thank you guys for being an amazing audience. I don't know who else is still on the live. Shay, Adrian, David, I don't know who is still here, but thank you to everyone that tuned in this night. I appreciate you. Thank you for being listening ears. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for being listening ears. Because the thing is that sometimes we just need to rant. For me, I won't say that I rant. Like, I'm not the right ranting type, but sometimes we just need to talk. Honestly, like, I'll consider myself an introvert, yeah, but there are certain times that we will need to talk about like certain things, and I think it's such a privilege, it's such a blessing to have a platform like this. I mean, 30 years ago something like this did not exist. 50 years ago it was even unbelievable that we would have something like this today, right? But see how much like life has progressed, see how much, we have moved forward, we have been able to come up with new inventions. Like, life is so amazing, honestly. Like, the way everything changes is really something to be amazed and to be grateful for, right? I feel like sometimes we wake up in the morning, we have a lot to complain about, but we forget the things that we should be grateful for. For the mere fact that you are even alive, you should even be thankful, because when there's life, there's hope. I mean, whatever it is that you're going through, just be thankful that you are still alive. You still have two legs, two hands, you can see, you can talk, you can walk, you have a roof over your head, you're not homeless, you have a phone, you have data. Do you understand? So, as much as we have a lot to complain about, and some people are so good at complaining, some people are really good at complaining, oh, they don't have this, oh, this happened, blah, blah, blah. But I know that some of these complaints are valid. As much as you have a lot to complain about, you also have a lot to be thankful for at the same time. Let's not forget that some of the prayer points we had 5 years ago, in fact, all of them have been answered. Let me just share this testimony. There was a particular year in my life, I think that was 3 years ago, when we were going into the new year. For people that attend church, right? For the Christians here that attend church, when we were going into the new year, you know this thing that the pastor will say, write down of everything that you want God to do for you in the new year. There's a particular year that I didn't have anything I wanted to write. I didn't have anything I wanted to write, because all the prayers that I've been praying for 3 years, God answered everything in that particular year. So I didn't have any prayer points on the top of my head that, oh, this is what I want God to do. I didn't have any prayer requests. I didn't have anything to ask for that year when we're going into the new year. I couldn't think of anything. So I just said, oh, I just want peace, and I just mentioned random things like important things like that, but I didn't mention any particular material thing or anything like that that I wanted, because all the prayers that I've been praying for 3 years, I feel like God answered everything that year. So I'm just saying that sometimes we should reflect and look back. Like, God has been so good. Just reflect and look back on how much He has done for us, how faithful He has been, the way that He has come through for us in so many different ways that sometimes we even forget them. Because as human beings, our needs and our wants cannot be satisfied. If God does something for you today, tomorrow you will come up with something else that you want. You always want more. Even if they give you $1 million now, tomorrow you will spend that money, and tomorrow again you will be asking for another $1 million. That's just it. So your needs, your wants, they can never be satisfied. You have to find a way to be contented with what you have. You can still want more, you can still want to do better for yourself, but I think we should also find a way to always be contented and be grateful for what we have, while we are, aiming and working hard to get more out of life. Let's not forget to be thankful, right? And then again, another reason to really be thankful is that besides getting what you want, let's talk about protection. There are so many times that something will happen here, and you will feel like it could have been worse, but thank God that it was not worse, right? It could have been worse. Like, more bad things could have happened, but thank God more bad things did not happen. So, like, there's so many things to be thankful for. There's so many things that I can say off the top of my head. It's so important that we live a life of gratitude. And in the last 2 months especially, I've been doing my best to be very grateful for where I am, for what I have, for who I am, right? I don't envy anybody, I'm not jealous of anybody, I don't want to be like anybody. I'm perfectly happy and contented with what I have, who I am, right? Of course, there's room for growth. Like, I have a lot of goals, dreams, ambitions, right? But I'm just saying that I'm so very grateful for how far God has brought me. I'm so very grateful for the life that I have, right? And the thing about life is that so many things shape you. Even before you start talking about your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, you want this one, you want that one. So many things shape you from the moment you're born. The family you're born into, the environment that you are born into, right? There are certain things that shape you, like the way that you look, the way that you came into the world, the way your head is molded, the way you are sculptured, like the way that you think and all of that, certain mannerisms that you have, those things even shape you. So I feel like those are part of the things that make you unique. Like you don't have a say in the family that you're born into. You don't have a say in the country that you're born into. Either you're American or you're Canadian or you're Nigerian or you're Ghanaian or you're Benin Republican. You don't have a say in the country and the environment that you are born into. That one is not in your decision making at all. You don't have a choice. Maybe when you grow up, you can decide to like change your roots or lie about your ethnicity. That's your business. But you don't have a say in the environment that you are born into when you are small, right? So these are part of things that shape us into becoming who we are at the end of the day. You know, the primary school that you go to, the secondary school that you go to, right? And people that you mingle with, certain things that you don't have control over. But even the religion that you're born into, you don't have control over that. Okay, there are many things about us that are in God's hands that we don't even realize. Were you born into a rich family or a poor family, right? Were you born into generational wealth or you were not born into generational wealth? You don't have control about that. So like where the moment that you are born, life already gives you certain cards to play with. The moment that you are born, certain things are already like handed to you from, you know, the way that you're born, the family that you're born into and everything. Life already gives you like a starting point. So the rest is up to you. What you do with the remaining things, the many choices that you have to make, that's up to you, right? Like life doesn't decide everything. Like God is so merciful, God is so good. As much as some things he gives us, he also gives us room to make choice. Some people are born into like poverty, but they end up getting generational wealth for their family. Some people are born with certain conditions and they tell them that they will never make it in life, but they end up being super smart, super intelligent, super good at, you know, what they do and who they are. So the point is, be the best you can be. Like just be the best that you can be, and don't forget to pray. Don't forget to pray to God. I feel like that's even the ultimate, right? Because you can work as hard as you can think, you can do this, you can do that, but God's grace really supersedes every other thing. God's grace supersedes man. Like if you have someone in your life and they're feeling like they're not gonna help you, just take it to God, because if one person refuses to help you, God will raise up another person to help you, as long as you are not at fault. Okay, so it is, rely on God. I'm not saying you should forget about human beings, so but because human beings are still vessels, so God will still use the vessel to bless you or honor you or whatever. But at the same time, know that God supersedes all. So don't try to displease God and please man. I feel like that's where some people also get it wrong. They do things that God will not be happy with them doing because they want to get the favor of man so they can get something, forgetting that all good things come from God, right? All good things come from God. So if God has said, do not do this thing, do not steal, why do you think you need to steal in order to get money? You feel like God is not going to bless you if you don't go against Him. Like, make it make sense. God said don't steal, right? And you are hoping on God to bless you. So why do you feel like you need to do something that God said don't do? You need to do something and go against God for you to be blessed in life, for you to get money. And then like, this is topic for another day, because if I start going into this now, I have a lot to say and it's already late, it's past midnight. So this is topic for another day. But just know that you don't need to sin against God to live a good life. You don't sin against, and you, at the end of the day, you say, oh, God blessed me. Did God really bless you? Like, you feel like you need to go against God for Him to bless you? I don't think so. I really don't. And there's nothing that you can get outside of God that will be better than what you would have gotten inside God. There's nothing you can get from disobeying God that will be better than what you would have gotten from obeying God, from doing what He said you should do, from living a righteous life. Nobody is perfect, nobody can be perfect. But some things that we do, like wrong things, we do them intentionally. I know that people can get into tight situations, right? But some things that we do are avoidable. some things that we do them intentionally. But just know that you don't need to go against God in order to live a good and fulfilled life. You cannot fulfill destiny outside of God. But at the end of the day, just pray, because God knows best, right? God knows best. So at the end of the day, just pray, and I hope and pray that God will guide us all to the right path in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you for joining the live, and I will see you next time. Bye.